Hello, I got this fluorescent lamp for a desk here, as you can see, and I need to install it. And as you notice, there's no openings here at all for placing the electrical cord through. And as well, this is quite solid wood. So in order to mount this, I'm going to have to pre-drill a little bit in there because otherwise I'm not going to be able to tap in. Now, one of the other things I wanted to do was to prevent having a cord running down here and slipping behind this crack. I can drill through this, but I'd like to make the smallest hole possible so that I don't have anything visible. And as well, I could potentially hide the hole by drilling up through here and then having it pass through a hole back here. So at least that way it's closed. So I'm going to have to decide what to do. And also, in order to make sure that the hole is as small as possible, I'm going to cut the cord, because otherwise to try to slip the entire plug through is going to be very difficult. And in that case, I'm going to use some morettes, to connect the wires up. Now, in order to do that, I have to open up this thing. I've already opened it up. You can see that's the cover plate, and there's the fluorescent tube, which I have to remove as well because the mounting holes are under there. I've opened this up as well because I want to cut right here our electrical cord and then feed it through and then connect it back up. This is the circuit board that is powering the thing, and what I'll do is I'll get my macro ring light out in a moment and we'll have a close-up look at this. Okay, here we are. This is just a close-up view of the board through the macro ring light. And as you can see, there's not much to it. There's some diodes there, probably for a bridge rectifier of some kind. And a large cap. What looks like a choke, that toroid looking thing there. A transformer. And some other components. I'm not sure about how exactly fluorescent lamps work. All I know is they use higher voltage, I believe, and frequency to power them. But anyway, that's very simple, as you can see, very simple circuit here. And on the other side of this board, there are some surface-mounted components here, just some resistors, it seems to be. So that's it there. Now this particular model is branded GE. So I'm assuming, even though it's made in China, that they're going to be a little bit more careful as to the components that are used. And I got this from Walmart. So once again, even though they try to build them down to a price, I'm sure that this model at least has a bit more safety built into it than you'd expect. But you never know. So I'm going to go ahead and start drilling, and I'll show you what I do to mount the thing. Okay, so as you can see here, I'd like to mount the light somewhere in the middle of the desk like this. And right away you can see that the exit hole for the electrical cord is on the side. And what I'd like to do is have it come out the back. So if I can make my hole here through the wood and through this plastic, I can fish my cord through there, and then it'll be nicely hidden. So when this goes up, you won't see an electrical cord coming out of this side at all. And you won't see the hole at all. It'll be behind the actual lamp fixture. So we're going to go ahead. I'm going to measure everything up and drill my hole and then pass it through. Okay, so what I've done is I've cut the cord so that I can wire this in later. And I've just marked by stripping 1/2 the polarity, just in case it matters. Now this is AC, but the plug is polarized, as you can see. Not that I think it makes a difference, but just in case, I want to wire it back up the same way. I mean, I don't think it should matter if I flip it the other way, because I believe it's passing through a rectifier, and there's also, it's AC. So it shouldn't really make a difference, but like I said, just to be on the safe side, I've marked polarity to be identical. As far as where to make the hole to put the wire through, I don't want it to come out too high because I like the hole to be as close to the corner here as possible. So that would correspond to a point somewhere around here. So I'm going to put a hole through this with this drill, and that's where I'm going to put my cable through. And I'm going to make sure that when I do put the cable through, it's going to run back underneath these tabs. That way, if you pull on it, it's not going to put any tension on the connections that I'm going to make later. So we're going to try to get it back through here and under that and then up. And then I'll make my connection here past this point so that it doesn't pull on the connections that I do when I put these around the wires. So here we go. I'm going to start drilling somewhere right around there. Okay, I've done my calculations here. You can see the entire desk is 43.5 inches wide and my lamp is 18.25. So I took that and divided it by 2 to get the distance. Okay, so I've marked the hole that I want to drill roughly about 13 inches away from the back end here, and I'm going to go ahead and drill it. Okay, so what I've done at this point is I've pulled the cord through here, the cut end. I passed it through the hole here, and I went under here and basically reconnected it to the one that I cut here on the inside of the lamp. And I've plugged it in just to test it out for the time being, and as you can see, it works. So what I'll do next is I'll take back the lamp out, the tube, and I'll mount the rest of this assembly up here underneath, and then we'll get it all pieced back together. But for now, I can close this electronic part here. I'm just going to make sure I put my cord underneath those stop tabs so that tension doesn't pull on the cord and doesn't pull on these connections here. And then I'll close this lid back up, and we'll go ahead and mount the final fixture to the underside of this cabinet. Okay, here you can see I've managed to get it back underneath the tabs, coming through the hole there. And those are the morettes that crimp the wire. And then everything else here should just close up nicely. Okay, as you can see here, this is where the final position of the lamp should be. But you'll notice that the mounting holes up here, they're shaped like these keyholes. So technically you should be putting a screw here and then not fastening it all the way and then putting it through the bigger hole and then sliding it so it goes up to there. But I'm not able to slide this back and forth this way because of course it's connected up here. So in this particular case, since I don't plan on removing the fixture by sliding it on and off anyway, what I'll do is I'll just tape it in place up here, because this is the only part that needs to be connected. I'll just put a bit of tape up there for a moment, and I'll go ahead and just drill straight in and get my screws into the narrower part here and here, and that'll be the end of it. Okay, so there you have it. There's the lamp installed. As you can see, it's a nice flush finish. and there's no wires visible at all. You can turn it on there. I've got a bit of a yellow hue, and that's just because the bulb supplied with the fixture, they give you a very cold, a warm white bulb, but we can change that to a cooler, brighter bulb. In any case, it's a nice, easy way to modify or hack an existing fixture and furniture to try to get it in without any wires visible. Just a nicer, cleaner approach than to have a wire dangling from it or and showing. And if you can just do a few small modifications like that, you can make a nice tight clean hole through here by cutting the wire, but then fastening it, and as well modifying the exit port. So thank you very much for watching the video, and if you enjoyed this small hack, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you.